Hello, fellow traders. Tis I, TheRumpledOne, coming to you on Monday, June the 17th. The year's 2024. Let's talk trading. Weekly open and gap with Walmal. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine and different from Walmal's. And just a friendly reminder, risk management, never lose more than you're willing to lose on any one single trade. So, taking a quick look at the weekly chart, we can see we've got a couple gaps that haven't filled, both on New Zealand pairs. And as far as the pound goes, we're about a little over 9 pips below the weekly open, 17 off the high, 12 off the low. So you can see we've got about 29, 30 pips of range, which means there's not much going on. Looking at the month, we're 61 pips below the monthly open. 190 off the high, 14 off the low. So it looks like we're putting in some new lows for the month. And we're putting in the opening range for the week. We are below the opening range for the month, and that low is 126.94. And we are in the opening range for the year. And we're about 59 pips off of that high and 91 pips. I'm sorry. About 60 pips off the low, 90 pips off the high. Got turned around there for a second. As far as the year goes, we're 42 pips below the yearly open, 223 off the high and 371 off the low. Inside bar action, we actually, price had entered in the inside bar range, the weekly inside bar from 12 weeks ago. We are inside the monthly inside bar from 5 months ago, and on Friday we broke out of the daily inside bar from 2 trading days ago. Once again, only 29 pips of range today. I'm not sure why, but maybe it's the summer doldrums. They want to celebrate the summer solstice this week and they're starting early. Not sure. We didn't trigger a buy trade off the buy zone, but we've been crisscrossing through that daily weekly open, and we have gone through the sell zone or short zone, and we're below it by about a pip right now. And since we only have 29 pips of range, obviously there's not enough room for rat trades. Bambino Flex indicator says short, price near the pivot, short. We haven't been near the pivot at 127.02, so that means we have missed the daily pivot. We missed Friday's daily pivot, so now we've got 2 missed daily pivots for the month of June. Weekly is pivots up at 127.34. We haven't taken that out yet, but we have taken out the monthly. And just a quick look at H4, we've got 3 pivots above that have not been taken out, and 1 pivot 126 H4 bars ago that hasn't been taken out at 126.557. And that is from May the 17th. We are inside the lower daily wick zone of Friday's daily candle. Once again, the range, 29 pips. Weekly range, we haven't broke out of previous week's high or low, and the previous week's candle was an outside bar, and that low is at 126.57. So we have a low today of 126.59, so we've missed it by 2 pips. Maybe it will test it again. So Walmal, you trading this slow stuff?
I'd love to, but trade's got to pop up. You know, that's exactly what the problem is. It's just moving, so slightly. Although, about, I guess it would have been about 20 minutes ago, there was a move that you could have taken to the downside, and you could have potentially picked up 3-4 pips, maybe even more than that if your commissions are small enough and your and your spread is small enough, could have picked up a little bit, and then you could have gone and about 5 minutes later could have taken an upswing trade, and you could have made again 3, 4, 5 pips, So I mean, potentially you could go and take trades, and potentially you could have made a little bit of money. But for me, it's not worth the risk, and the reason why is because it's just not moving enough. And I like to go and see if I get stuck in a range like it is right now. Where right now we're in this range from roughly what is it, 64? Yeah, 64, and the top part of this range is at 74. I like to see 15 pips. We only got 10 pip range here, and it's really not even going. It's ranging back and forth, but it's not even really going from the edge to edge. It's going basically from the edge to midpoint, and that's really all it's doing. And so it just, to me, I'm not willing to take that risk. I'd rather wait for another day to come by where it's more clear to me that, hey, this is a trade, and I can make some money on it. And because the thing is, I'm not trying. If you're sitting there and you've got your trading so dialed in that you're able to go and get the entire range, you can pick the perfect bottom, and you can pick the perfect top, and you can go and trade from that perfect bottom to that perfect top and get that perfect number of pips. Well, first of all, congratulations, because you're probably the only person in the world that's ever done that. But more importantly, I'm just not willing to do that. It's just, I need to go and have, some room for error. By trade, I'm an engineer. And, it's the type of thing where one of the things the first job I ever had, I just remember going there, and it was an engineering job, and I just remember them saying, okay, we need to go and develop a system to do A, B, and C. And I went and it was a small little project. They were testing me out and seeing how well I could do things or not do things. And, so I laid out the system. And the first thing my boss, I'll never forget the guy's name. His last name is, I can don't say his name because he's moved on. He's passed away since, but his name was Ali Limakaktis, and great man. But he said, "Where's your failure points? What happens if if the load becomes bigger than this? What are you going to do?" And I said, "Well, the system collapses." I said, they're going to go and do more than what they asked you to do. Why didn't you put that in there? And I think we can go and relate that back to trading to a certain extent, because the reality is, if I'm sitting there trying to get 4 or 5 pips, I need some type of buffer because I'm not going to get in a perfect place. So, and I need a buffer at the top because I'm not going to get out at the perfect place there. And when you don't start taking those type of things into consideration, I know, Tiro, you probably call it greed, especially on the getting out part. Well, you were too greedy. You waited too long, and the thing turned around and went against you. And you're right. That's what that can a lot of times it can be associated with greed. I look at it from the perspective of, I went and hit that top of that range, and it's not a straight line. When I say you draw a line in the sand, yeah, you draw a line in the sand, and then you put two additional lines, one about 10% above it and 10% below it, and say anytime it hits that zone, okay, it's time to get out. And then you go and try to do this type of trading, and you go and say, okay, price is probably going to get up to somewhere around, price potentially could get up to 73, because that's where the top of the range is. And the reality is I've run into a bunch of problems at 70, 71, and then you put let's say a 2-pip, range around it on both sides. You bracket it by 2 pips. Now you're down to 69, and then you're saying, oh, look at that. I'm getting in at 71, and I can only get to 7. Going in. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. I'm getting in at 69, and I only can get to 71. Well, guess what? Everything's got to go right for me, and I'm still only going to get 2 pips. To me, it just doesn't make sense. I'll sit it out. I'll sit here and I'll wait for, better times, and it may very well happen today. It may happen this afternoon, or it may happen tomorrow. Now the thing is, right now it's 9:44 New York time. So the reality is, this market for me it's got another 30 minutes, and then after that, I'm just shutting my computer down. I'm not going to do anything because that by what happens if I get into a trade, at 10:15, and sometimes you're in a trade for 45 minutes because it just doesn't move as quickly as you'd like it to move. And I don't trade after 11 o'clock. So, period. It's just, it's one of my hard and fast rules. And that's sometimes you have to look at trading that way and just say, sometimes there are days when you can't make a trade. And you just, say, well, that's okay because you know what? Friday was a great day, and Friday I made more than 2 or 3 days worth of work, in that one day. And those type of days make up for the days like today where there's nothing to be had.
Yeah, that's definitely a good point where if the market's not doing what you expect it to do and you can't figure out why, you just stand aside. No need to force it.
I can't make the market move. There is nothing. I don't have a single tool in my toolbox that'll go and move the market. All I can do is I can get on the bus and I can get off the bus. Yeah. I can't go drive the bus.
Yeah, speaking about your 2 pip trade, it just went from 68 to 70.
Yeah. So I mean, theoretically, you could take that trade, but again, for me, it's too risky. It's just not worth. It's not worth trying to make the 2 pips that way. Because, and it's risky in a different way. Risky, we normally don't say, well, here's the thing what's going to happen is that it's going to go, you guess wrong and it goes against you, and next thing you know, you're down 10 pips. Could that happen? Sure, it could happen. The more likely event to happen today is I'm now sitting in a trade for an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours trying to go and get a lousy 2 pips. That's the more likely thing. And then you have to start factoring in what is your time worth, would it be better? I mean, I'm in West Georgia today. Okay, it's going to be a beautiful day. It's going to be about 98 to 100 degrees, not a cloud in the sky. The grandkids are over the house. You know what? My better use of time is to go and hang it up, put a bathing suit on, and go down to the pool, go down to the lake, and do that with my grandkids.
I think all the traders want to see you in a bathing suit now that you mention it. So you better make a video.
That ain't happening anytime soon. But my point is that we gotta live life, and we also got to go and make best decisions. Right now, best decision for me, probably not to trade. I mean, like I said, I'm giving it another half hour. But after that, that's it. I'm done. And then tomorrow, hopefully, even though there's no news tomorrow to drive the market, but hopefully, it does move. And if not, I know that it'll probably move on Wednesday because there's lots of news on Wednesday. So that's okay.
You got something to look forward to, right?
Exactly. And that's the thing. You got things to look forward to.
It's funny, even in a slow market like today, the fastest 15 minutes of trading is just about over. So, fellow traders, the lesson to take away is, some days are just not days that suit your method of trading. Market's not moving the way you need it to move, so you just have to say, you know what? You get a day off. Maybe you can analyze things, do some other housekeeping things you need to do with your trading, but as far as putting your money on the line, just not a good day. And that being said, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is TheRumpledOne, over and out.